Hello everybody, my name is Alexandru Dorosenku. I am from Romania, from Danube Delta. It's one of the largest wetlands in Europe and in the world. And I'm honored to be here with you today. My presentation will be about water management in water scarce areas. And I want you to show the map of my country, Romania, with a lot of rivers, and in the south there is the Danube, second largest European river, with an annual mean discharge of 6,550 cubic meters per second. During the winter and springtime we have up to 10,000 cubic meters per second, but when this drop, this can be very low, between 3 to 4,000 cubic meters per second. But even so, with all these impressive numbers about water volumes, Danube is classified as a highly risk river of disappearing in the next 50 years. So this huge river might be gone in the next half a century, because it's an international river, crosses all the Central and Eastern Europe, has a huge catching area. All these tributaries, including the Danube itself, is heavily dammed. A lot of reservoirs, everybody needs this water for water supplies, for human consumption in agriculture, industry. So everybody uses this water. I am a researcher, biologist, ecologist, but I'm in Danube Delta. I'm working in Danube Delta, and Danube Delta is by sea reserve also, like a region, but it's the opposite somehow. It's a wetland, it's a flat area. But somehow, even strange, we have the same needs. Water is like blood for a living creature, and delta is a complex ecosystem that is a living area. Plants, habitats, humans, everybody needs water. Without water, everybody dies. And look here on these graphics from the European Union about temperature trends. You already know all this story. So, in Romania, we are an agricultural area, an agricultural country. One of the top producers for cereals, sunflower oil for Europe, and we have like almost 40% of our territory is arable land. Half of it needs irrigation to produce something. So also 20% of human labor force in Romania works in agriculture. So the lack of water, lack of irrigation actually means a total collapse, economical and social collapse. And as you can see, Romania has the highest employees number in agriculture from all the European Union. This is an image, actually it's a collage of images from my region, from Danube Delta, from about 10 years ago. We used to have winters, and once in 5 years the entire Danube River froze up. And this was characteristic for the entire Central Europe, actually, to have cold winters and had a water storage as ice and snow in the mountains, but also on the lands and everywhere. And we had a gradual release of this water in springtime and summertime. Now we have warm winters, snow, is only lasts only for a few days, and we have very high waters along the Danube and all the tributaries during the winter time. This, like you mentioned in your case, is actually flowing, is wasted because of the lack of retention. We have a lot of reservoirs in Romania and also Central Europe, but not enough to retain all this water that actually flows during the winter time. That is not the season for agriculture. Our crops grow in summertime, not in winter. So we are not able to use and to storage all this water that is lost. And several steps that can give some hope and help us to manage the water situation, the water issues. And the first one is to identify the water sources from your region. And this is very important because these are diverse. And yes, we need to find what is the primary water source for each region that is reliable. So it could be groundwater, could be rivers, lakes, could be sea. In case that all the others are not available, the sea can be the ultimate major source of water using desalination. It's important to optimize the use of water in agriculture because it's the major user of water all over. So this is really important to implement water efficient irrigation systems. Also, water technologies or methods in order to reduce water losses, because also you mentioned a lot of losses in the system or because of the lack of systems to catch all this water. Communities and industries need to be encouraged to use the water in an efficient way, in different ways, including penalties for industry that is not efficient. But technology also help here to use new technology in order to save water. Water policy and governance is key, because if in some situation you can have this micromanagement for your own farm, it's important to have frameworks. It's important to apply synergically all these measures. As was mentioned before about prioritization, it's important to apply all. But of course, some measures need more investments. So actually, the amount of money should be prioritized, but all the measures should be applied together, synergy. You cannot say only for education and only for governance. No, they must go all together, but of course the amount of money would be different because all need different sources of money. So an integrated water resource management is essential. How can alternative water sources be developed and used? Desalination, in the case of islands, is vital. It's a new technology, very expensive, but sometimes we need to accept that could be the best solution for this. And solar panels, green energy can help a lot in decreasing the energy cost. Water recycling, of course, this grey water, the water that is already used by industry, the houses, municipalities, all this can be reused, and there are many examples worldwide how this can be reused efficiently, especially in agriculture. And of course, the harvesting of pluvial water, of rains, storm water. I use this term of storm water because the rains are infrequent, but when they come, they are floods. They create floods. So this is storm water, and we need to be prepared for this high capacity storage in many areas in order to harvest as much as possible and in a very short time when this is available. So development of technologies to make these sources more cost effective and energy efficient is critical. Of course, mitigation measures on water resources, climate change impact, and local communities' engagement in water management efforts. We can do nothing without local population. If local people are not involved, we cannot. It's a common problem, and we need to solve it together, and need to start it now. That's why when you mention the third option, yes, we need to start now, all together, combined with governance, with framework, and education. This is essential. Urban water management. Urban areas are bigger and bigger, and rainwater harvesting, greywater reuse, landscaping with drought-resistant species is also very important, and green infrastructure like permeable pavements was presented in the previous days. This concept of sponge city, which is very useful. And monitoring. Integrated monitoring, continuous integrated monitoring of water resources and water use. It's important to monitor, constant monitor water quality, availability of the water, and usage of the water. And this can be made with sensors, remote sensing, and GIS. This combined can give really valuable, vital data in order to anticipate a shortage, to anticipate the shortages and optimize the water allocation. So for governments, these are data that they really needed in order to decide, in order to prioritize, to act. We need data based on this data. Otherwise, then can be corruption because somebody influenced the governance in their proper interest, but in their own interest. But if you have data, and these are public data, you can justify your action, you can convince people, you can build resilient frameworks and good actions. So water management plan, the water management plan ensures the sustainable use of water resources while mitigating the impacts of scarcity and climate change. So mitigation must continue and it must be done together with water management plan. So all these need to go like this together. The synergy is very important. So thank you.